Hello student, how are you? I know you all have studied from our last lecture. With a prayer to the Almighty, we will start our second chapter in history. Chapter number 2, Historiography, Indian Tradition. In this, we will know about the tradition of the Indian history that was divided in ancient historiography and medieval historiography. Ancient period. The earliest period was written documents of historical nature found in India are in the form of inscription, that is Emperor Ashoka Maurya's time. His edicts are inscribed in natural rock sandstone pillars. The inscription on Harappan seals and other artifacts confirm that Indian had mastered the art of writing as early as the 3rd millennium BCE, or perhaps before that. From the 1st century CE, inscriptions begin to occur on coins, metal, images, and sculptures, and also on copper plates. They provide important historical information. So, Soha Gaura copper plate. Soha Gaura copper plate was found in UP, that is Uttar Pradesh district of Gorakhpur. It is believed to be from Mauryan period with inscription in Brahmi script. The symbols inscribed on the plate are indicative of a tree, mountain, and structure with 4 pillars and a granary. The inscriptions records a royal order about careful distribution of grains in the granary and precautions to be taken in the times of a famine. Now we will be studying historiography in the medieval period. In the medieval period means during the time of the king's middle history. In the medieval India, the historians in the courts of Muslim rulers were influenced by Arabic and Persian historiography. Babur, the founder of the Mughal Empire, wrote an autobiography entitled Tuzuke Babri. It contains the descriptions of the battles fought by him. Bahar is an important type of historical documents of medieval times. It contains eulogies of heroes and stories of historical events, battle, lives of great men. Eulogies means the good things, praises about the heroes and the kings of that period. Bahars can be divided into various types such as biographies of kings, dynastic heroes, histories, descriptions of events, history of sect, autobiographies regarding grievances based on mythologies, and state administration by a king. Marathi Bakhars are of various types. Sabhasad Bakhar was written by Krishnaji Anand Sabhasad during the reign of Chhatrapati Rajaram Maharaj. It is an important Bakhar for getting information about the rule of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Bhausahebanchi Bakhar describes the battle of Panipat. Another Bakhar entitled Panipatchi Bakhar is also about the same event. Holkaranchi Kaifiyat provides information about the Holkars and their contribution to the Maratha rule. In the period of 20th century, the Indian archaeological exploration and research started under the British rule. A number of ancient sites were excavated under the supervision of Sir Alexander Cunningham, the first Director General of the Archaeological Survey of India. He chose mainly the sites mentioned in Buddhist texts for this purpose. Harappan civilization was discovered during the tenure of Sir John Marshall. Because of this discovery, the antiquity of Indian history could be traced to 3rd millennium BCE. Harappan civilization was discovered during the tenure of John Marshall. Tenure means period of Sir John Marshall. The British officials in India wrote about Indian history. Their writings display strong influence of colonial policies of the British. 3 volumes of the history of British India, written by James Mill, were published in 1817. This was the first book on Indian history written by Mount Stuart Elphinstone, governor of Bombay, now Mumbai, was published in 1841. Grandeff's name stand out among the British officer who wrote about Maratha history. He wrote the book entitled A History of Maharathas. Grandeff's writing also shows the British inclination of condemning Indian culture and history. Indian historiography, various ideological means ideas and the thoughts of frameworks. Colonial historiography, the early scholars who studied and wrote Indian history were mainly British officers and Christian missionaries. Their thoughts and prejudice is clearly reflected in the way some of them have ridiculed Indian culture. Their writings were used to justify the colonial British rule. The 5 volumes of Cambridge History of India, published during 1920 to 1937 CE, are distinct example of colonial historiography. Oriental historiography. The Orientalists studied the similarities between Sanskrit and some of the European languages. They focused more on Vedic tradition and Sanskrit literature. Many European scholars felt curious about civilizations and countries of the East. Some of those scholars felt admiration and respect for them. These scholars were known as Orientalists. Among the Orientalist scholars were Frederick Max Millet. Frederick Max Millet deserved a special mention. In his opinion, Sanskrit was the most ancient language of the Indo-European languages. He was deeply interested in Sanskrit literature. He first translated the Sanskrit text of Hitopadesh in German language. He was the editor of 15 volumes of the Sacred Books of the East. He also compiled Rig Veda, which has been published in 6 volumes. He translated Rig Veda in German. Nationalistic historiography, the writing of Indian historians who were trained in the British educational system, show an inclination to restore the pride in the ancient glory of India and the self-esteem of the Indian readers. The writings are known as nationalistic historiography. One of the nationalistic historiographer is V.K. Rajwade. V.K. Rajwade is well known for his writings in Marathi on varied subjects like history, linguistics, etymology, grammar, etc. He was the firm opinion that we should write our own history. He compiled and edited 22 volumes of Marathanच्या Itihasaची Sadhane. He wrote very scholarly preface to each of the 22 volumes. History is the all-inclusive image of the past societies. It does not include only the stories of political images, conspiracies and wars for seizing power. Historiography in the post-independence era. Now, along with writing the dynamic histories, the cultural, social, economic histories, were also being written. Economic histories were also being written. Scholars of the post-independence era began to feel historiography in the post-independence era. Now, along with writing the dynastic histories, the cultural, social, economic histories were also being written. Scholars of the post-independence era began to feel the need of writing histories of various communities, sciences, economic systems, political ideologies, cultural aspects, etc. The historiography of this area has been influenced mainly by 3 ideological schools. Ideological means 3. The Marxist history, the subaltern history and the feminist history. Marxist history, the concern of the means of production, modes of production and the industrial relations were at the centers in the writing of the Marxist history. Damodar Dharmanand Kosambi, Comrade Shripad Amrut Dange, Ram Saran Sharma, many more are the Marxists of India. Comrade Dange was one of the founder member of Indian Communist Party. Primitive Communism to Slavery, the book written by him represent Marxist historiography. Subaltern histories. The seeds of subaltern history are found in the Marxist historiography. The role of the Italian historian Antonio Gramsci is very important in developing the idea that history should be written starting from the bottommost ranks of people in the society. In fact, subaltern means the bottommost rank. Mahatma Phule unfolded the history of the Sudrati Sudra communities in his book Gulamgiri. The terms Sudra and Ati Sudra indicate the bottommost ranks in the caste system. The role of the people belonging to Dalit caste is very significant in the shaping of various cultural and political aspects of India. However, their role was not duly acknowledged in the colonial and nationalistic historiography. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, focusing on this fact, consistently wrote about it. Two of his books, Who Were the Shudras and the Untouchables, may be cited an example of history of subaltern type. Feminist history. Over a significant period of time, mainly male scholars were involved in the writing of Indian history. As a result, the role and achievements of women in history remained neglected. Tarabai Shinde was the foremost one. She wrote attacking the male dominated social system and the caste system. Tarabai wrote a book called Stri Purusha Tulna, published in 1882, is acknowledged as the first feminist book in India. Pandita Ramabai published the book entitled High Caste Hindu Women. The feminist literature of the post-independent era concentrated on the issues like employment of the women, treatment meted out to the women at their workplace, their right to political equality, etc. Among the recently published feminist literature, Meera Kosambi's book Crossing Thresholds, Feminist Essays in Social History is of importance. There have been a number of Indian historians who wrote many books without embracing a particular ideology. Among them, historians like Sir Jodunath Sarkar, Surendra Nath Sen, Riya Satkar, G.S. Sardesai, and Triambak Shankar Sejwalkar are noteworthy. In the recent times, historians like Yashwant Dinwarkar Phadke, Ramchandra Guha, etc. have contributed extensively to the historiography of modern India. So, the students, now you have to do the assignments. This is a concept which you have to fill by yourself. There are dashes which we have studied in the lesson. You have to fill. For example, purpose of historiography in the Ziauddin Barani. The dash is at what time what he has written. See, history of Kashmiri Kalahana, who wrote it. So you have to fill this, and there are in the page number, on the page number 13 of the textbook, you have complete the sentences and identify the wrong pair in the following, correct it and rewrite it. That you have to do as assignment. I will check it when we meet.